The West Philippine Sea, once a symbol of peace and abundance, is no longer calm. Its tranquil surface now conceals deep tensions and uncertainty. Today it stands as a flashpoint of rising danger where every movement is watched and every decision could tip the balance. Chinese vessels have ramped up aggressive tactics, firing water cannons at Filipino boats and risking dangerous collisions with Philippine patrols. These confrontations are not isolated. They are becoming more frequent, more intense, and more brazen. This is a direct challenge to Philippine sovereignty, a test of the nation's resolve, and a growing threat to the stability of the entire region. The world is watching as the Philippines stands its ground. The Philippines now finds itself caught between China's overwhelming naval might, which continues to expand its presence in disputed waters, and a lingering territorial dispute with Malaysia over Sabah. At stake are not just lines on a map, but the nation's identity, its economic survival, and the security of its people. For Filipino fishermen, these disputed waters are more than a battleground. They are vital fishing grounds that have sustained generations, providing food and livelihood for countless families. The West Philippine Sea is also a key part of the nation's exclusive economic zone, rich in marine resources and energy reserves that are crucial for the country's future. Every incident at sea sends shockwaves through coastal communities, leaving families anxious and uncertain about their safety and their future. But the stakes go beyond the Philippines. The South China Sea is a crucial artery for global trade, with trillions of dollars worth of goods passing through its busy shipping lanes every year. Any conflict here could disrupt economies worldwide. The region's future hangs in the balance, its fate uncertain, its peace fragile. The world now waits and watches. Will diplomacy and dialogue prevail, or will tensions escalate into open conflict? The answer will shape not just the Philippines, but the destiny of the entire region. Tensions in the West Philippine Sea stem from clashing histories and legal claims. These waters have long been a focal point of geopolitical interest, with multiple nations asserting their rights over the rich resources and strategic routes they offer. China's sweeping nine-dash line claims nearly the entire South China Sea, citing centuries-old usage. This historical narrative is deeply embedded in China's national identity, often used to justify its expansive territorial ambitions. But under UNCLOS, the Philippines has clear rights to areas like the Spratlys and Scarborough Shoal. These regions are not just lines on a map, they are vital fishing grounds and potential sites for energy exploration, crucial for the Philippines' economic future. In 2016, an international tribunal ruled in favor of the Philippines, rejecting China's claims. Yet Beijing dismissed the verdict. This ruling was a landmark moment, highlighting the power of international law, but also its limitations when faced with a defiant superpower. This legal victory left Manila at an impasse. International law on one side, offering a framework for peaceful resolution, yet lacking enforcement mechanisms. China's power on the other, with its military might and economic influence casting a long shadow over the region, complicating diplomatic efforts. Meanwhile, the Sabah dispute with Malaysia, rooted in colonial-era agreements, adds another layer of complexity. This historical contention further strains regional relations, as both nations navigate their colonial legacies. These overlapping disputes force the Philippines to defend its borders amid shifting alliances and unresolved history. The nation must balance its diplomatic ties with ASEAN neighbors while asserting its sovereignty. The nation's territorial integrity remains under constant challenge. Filipino fishermen, who rely on these waters for their livelihood, find themselves on the front line of this geopolitical struggle, embodying the resilience and determination of a nation fighting for its rightful place on the world stage. For Filipino fishermen, the West Philippine Sea dispute is not just a distant political issue, it's a daily personal struggle that shapes their very existence. Every morning, as the sun rises over the horizon, these men set out in their small wooden boats, braving unpredictable waters and uncertain futures. The sea, once a source of life and hope, has become a battleground where livelihoods hang in the balance. There was a time when these waters teemed with fish, providing abundant catches, and a steady income for generations of Filipino families. The bustling fish markets were filled with the day's fresh haul, and the community thrived on the bounty of the sea. Fishing was more than a job. It was a proud tradition passed down from father to son. But now, the presence of Chinese patrols has changed everything. Harassment and intimidation have become routine, with Filipino boats often blocked or chased away. Each trip to sea is fraught with risk, as fishermen must constantly watch for foreign vessels that threaten their safety and their catch. Forced to fish closer to shore, many now find only meager catches. The once plentiful fishing grounds are out of reach, and competition among local fishermen has grown fierce. The struggle for survival is evident in every crowded shoreline and every empty net. With dwindling catches, livelihoods are vanishing. Families who once relied on the sea are now pushed deeper into poverty and mounting debt. The uncertainty of tomorrow weighs heavily on every household, as parents worry about how to feed their children and pay their bills. The psychological toll is immense. Fear, anxiety, and uncertainty grip entire villages. The sense of security that once came from the sea has been replaced by a constant state of worry, as communities wonder what the future holds. Each day, fathers and sons leave their families behind, not knowing if they'll return safely. The simple act of fishing has become an act of courage, as loved ones anxiously await their return, hoping for both safety and a good catch. While the government promises protection and international allies voice support, real help often feels distant and slow to arrive. For those on the front lines, these assurances offer little comfort against the daily dangers they face. Yet despite the odds, some fishermen refuse to give up. Driven by a deep connection to their ancestral waters and a determination to provide for their families, they continue to risk everything, embodying the resilience and spirit of their nation. Their small boats, dwarfed by the imposing Chinese ships, have become powerful symbols of a nation's fight for dignity, sovereignty, and survival. Each journey is a testament to their courage and the stakes of this ongoing conflict. These stories, told through the voices of fishermen and the eyes of their children, reveal the true human cost of territorial conflict. Behind every headline and political statement are real people, whose lives and dreams are adrift in troubled waters. To counter China's pressure, the Philippines is strengthening alliances. The U.S.-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty remains central, with American warships conducting freedom of navigation patrols. Manila is also building ties with India, Japan, Australia, and Vietnam through joint drills and security cooperation. ASEAN's efforts for a code of conduct have stalled, hampered by internal divisions and China's influence. This web of alliances turns the dispute into a global concern, raising the stakes for all involved. International support boosts the Philippines' deterrence, but also complicates the region's geopolitics. The West Philippine Sea is now a stage for great power rivalry. China responds to these alliances with defiance and show of force. Beijing frames foreign involvement as interference, warning the Philippines against relying on outsiders. In response to joint drills, China stages its own military exercises nearby, signaling its resolve. Beyond military moves, China uses economic leverage, offering incentives to allies and threatening consequences to challengers. This mix of pressure and persuasion aims to isolate the Philippines and deter others from joining its cause. At its core, China sees the South China Sea as a matter of sovereignty and national pride. Its strategy: resist external pressure, assert dominance, and reshape the regional order. Confrontation in the West Philippine Sea has grown more dangerous and direct. China uses gray zone tactics, water cannons, blockades, and risky maneuvers to intimidate Philippine vessels without open warfare. Collisions and near misses are now common, raising the risk of deadly miscalculation. Chinese jets have also intercepted Philippine aircraft, escalating tensions in the air. At Second Thomas Shoal, China's floating barriers aim to cut off Filipino Marines, slowly tightening its grip. These tactics are designed to wear down Philippine resolve and establish control by attrition. Each incident inches the region closer to crisis. The new confrontation is a high-stakes game of brinkmanship. One mistake could spark disaster. The Philippines and the world now face three paths: diplomacy, deterrence, or conflict. Diplomacy offers hope, but progress is slow, and China remains unyielding. Strengthening alliances is Manila's current strategy, aiming to deter aggression through unity and military cooperation. But this approach risks provoking China, fueling an arms race and greater rivalry. The most dangerous path is accidental conflict. A collision or incident could quickly escalate, drawing in global powers. What's at stake is more than territory. It's sovereignty, economic future, and the rule of law. The choices made now will shape the region's fate: peace, deterrence, or a crisis no one wants. The world watches, knowing the next move could change everything.